Chancellor's report.
Thank you, Board President. So I'll begin my Chancellor's report tonight. Just last week on Friday, December 5th, I joined an especially strong contingent of Peralta representatives at this year's Basic Needs Summit at Napa Valley College. For the past 7 years, the Real College California Coalition, supported by the CEO Affordability, Food and Housing Access Task Force, which I chair, has brought together students, practitioners, and advocates to elevate high-impact practices that address the diverse challenges facing community college students. This year's theme, Sustaining Hope, Meeting Students' Needs in Uncertain Times, underscores our collective commitment to building safe, equitable, and enduring support systems, even as higher education navigates political, financial, and social volatility. Our shared goal is to uplift strategies that foster stability, belonging, and pathways to completion. I'm especially pleased to share that Berkeley City College's Basic Needs Center team, led by Izzy Villanueva and a group of incredible students, presented on their innovative use of social media, 3 channels that they have garnering more than 300,000 views and over 1,000 followers to strengthen partnerships, deepen engagement, and broaden outreach. Congratulations to the BCC team for this creative and impactful work. It was a productive conference. On Thursday, December 4th, leaders from the Peralta Colleges joined colleagues from Contra Costa College, Chabot Las Positas, Community College District, and Laney College, collectively the East Bay 10 colleges, for a dynamic convening at Merritt College. Renowned author Elaine Lynn Herring facilitated an interactive workshop on unlearning silence, communicating for connection and impact. We explored practical frameworks for strengthening relationships and addressing difficult issues with clarity and care. It was an energizing opportunity to learn alongside our own teams and peers across the region. On November 5th, I'm going back a little bit, but I thought it was worthy of talking about. On November 5th, we hosted the Regional California Community Colleges to Historically Black Colleges and Universities Caravan at Laney College. More than 300 students attended, connecting with representatives from partner HBCUs, accessing on-the-spot admissions and scholarship opportunities, learning from the CCC Transfer Guarantee Pathway to HBCUs, and enjoying lunch, t-shirts, and community. My appreciation goes to Dr. Renaya Johnson for leading the coordination of this highly successful district-wide event, and all of the volunteers from all of the colleges for their hard work and outstanding hospitality. It was a privilege to host the HBCU Caravan, and you may have noticed in one of the photos that I was proudly wearing a t-shirt declaring Black Serving Institution. I'm delighted to share that just this week we've received official confirmation that Berkeley City College, College of Alameda, Laney College, and Merritt College have all been awarded California Black Serving Institution status. Yeah. The BSI designation was created to recognize colleges and universities that excel in providing academic resources and meaningful support to Black and African American students enrolled in degree or certificate programs. It affirms a deep, sustained commitment to fostering success, equity, and belonging. Each Peralta College received a similar statement from the CSU, the California State University Central Office for the Advancement of Black Student Success, which administers the program, that said, quote, "This designation recognizes your leadership and long-standing commitment to advancing Black student success, equity, and belonging within higher education. Your institution's work has helped to shape a more just and responsive educational landscape for Black students across California, and we are deeply appreciative of your ongoing efforts," unquote. We expect additional information in January about the expectations, opportunities, and resources associated with this designation. My congratulations to all 4 colleges, and my appreciation to the presidents and their teams for working collaboratively on the application and for their continued dedication to this important work. We also learned this week of the passing of Dr. Donald Hongisto. Dr. Hongisto, who was in his 90s, dedicated his life to serving Peralta students. He began as an English professor, later became a division chair, and ultimately served as the president of 3 Peralta colleges: Feather River College, back when it was part of Peralta, y'all, College of Alameda, and Merritt College. He was someone who stepped up in wherever he was needed. He believed deeply in the power of education, especially the humanities, and in the responsibility of leadership. Dr. Hongisto and his late wife, Norma, have been more generous supporters of the Peralta Colleges Foundation, providing annual scholarships that continue to open doors for our students, including the Donald Hongisto Leadership Award that honors his lifelong commitment to developing student leaders, and the Norma Hongisto Scholarship supports Laney College art students in advancing their careers and studio practice. My sympathies go to the Dr. Hongisto's family. A memorial service is being planned for January, and we will close the meeting tonight in honor of his service to our community. Tomorrow at 4 p.m., I hope you will join me and President Upsada at the Laney College Bistro for the Light the Path, Light the Field, a Luminaria walk honoring the legacy of John Beam. After a short program, we will gather luminaria, paper lanterns, and take a collective walk from campus to the stadium. The walk reflects the journey Coach Beam shared with generations of students, from learning and mentorship to teamwork and community, ultimately guiding them to the field he loved. It will be a meaningful opportunity to be in community and to honor his profound impact as a coach, educator, mentor, and colleague. Before closing, I want to welcome a special guest tonight. On the same day as the HBCU Caravan, I attended Laney College's Student Storytellers event, organized each semester by Dr. Daniel DeVere. This year, he collaborated with ESOL professor Chelsea Cohen to include ESOL student voices, and Chelsea was so kind to invite me to attend. The theme focused on students' journeys to college and why they chose Laney. The presentations, I have to tell you, were incredibly powerful. They were moving, honest, and really inspiring. And one student in particular, Kan Lee, shared a story that stayed with me. And so I invited her today because she offers a compelling reminder of why our work matters. Welcome, Ken.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Board of Trustees, our Chancellor, and also college presidents. So I would like to start by thanking our Chancellor Gilkerson for giving me the opportunity to share my stories at the Board Trustee meeting tonight. And I'm also grateful for Mr. Johnson for having me in preparing for these meetings. And last but not least, my teachers who have helped me in shaping the stories. So first of all, my name is Khan. I was born and raised in Vietnam. 1 year ago, I faced a significant turning point as my family immigrated to the United States. This was a really big transition for me as I just graduated from high school and I was about to go to college. And never did imagine that I would attend college in a whole different country. At the beginning of this journey, Laney is the first academic institution that I have become a part of. And until now, I have been at Laney for almost 2 semesters. So when I first moved to the States, I did leave many things behind. However, there's one thing that I couldn't forget. It all came from the topic of my last high school essay, which is finding yourself in others. And these words also reflect the reason why I chose to stay at Laney. Because at Laney, I have found myself in others. By saying that I decided to stay at Laney, that's honestly because I didn't choose this college in the first place. When I first moved here, I was so lost with a new chapter of my life. Therefore, the wisest choice I could make was to listen to my family advice, who have lived here for a longer time. And not just that, most of my family members, like around 11 people, had either attended or were attending Laney as students. So if you ask me, why Laney? This is all simply my family guidance. I would say I didn't put many thought to this choice, but little did I know that my experience at this college would lead me to changing myself in the most unexpected ways. The question is that, why did I choose to stay at Laney? And what values does Laney bring to our communities and to each individual? These questions draw me back to my first ever day at Laney with my first ever college class which is ESOL, Advanced Listening and Speaking. The night before, I was so nervous because I hadn't been immersed in a collegial atmosphere, even back in my home country. I tried to envision many possibilities, thought of many ways to respond for tomorrow class. And even though I tried to stay calm and think positive, there were thousands of thoughts that went through my mind at the same time. And the next morning, on my first ever day at Laney, when I entered the classroom and looked for a place to sit, I was so surprised because there were just around 15 students in the room, but they were all so different from me. I wanted to break the ice, but I was just too scared to speak up. Before, in my home country, it was really easy to feel connected to people because they were all so similar to me. Language or culture was not a barrier there. However, in America, it's surprising that I still find myself in the people who are absolutely different from me, who come from different places, different generations, and they also have different life experiences. Last semester, I had a group presentations with my two classmates. One was a Chinese woman in her mid-50s who is going to retire in 2026, but she decided to go to college to transfer to a 4 year university. And the other one was a young Ecuadorian woman who worked night shifts 7 days a week, but she came to the college in the morning to pursue a degree in nursing. Before attending Laney, I had an assumption that college was just for high school graduates. But hearing their story actually changed my mind a lot about higher education in general and community college specifically. And at first, I thought we were quite a unique combinations, but we actually work together in harmony and even share our own stories. At the end of the semesters, they told me one thing that I couldn't forget, that I was good at encouraging and motivating people. And these words actually gave me strength to apply and become a tutor afterwards. But I would never notice that aspect of myself if I didn't interact, connect with them, and see myself through their lenses. I would consider it a two-way process in which externally I took a glimpse into their words and internally reflect my own inner words to realize who I am. And through this process, I was able to find myself in others, in all the similarities and all the differences. Overall, my experience at Laney have widened my emotional range and broadened my worldview. At Laney, we all come from such diverse backgrounds. We come from different places, we speak different languages, and we also have unique life experience. But we are still able to understand each other despite and maybe through the differences. These environments remind me of a quote from Luis Sepulveda, which is, it is very easy to accept and love those who are like us, but to love someone different is very hard. But that's one of the most valuable lessons I have learned from this college. I have learned not only to accept the differences of others, but to also utilize them to identify my own self. And right now, if you ask me one more time, why Laney? Because at Laney, diversity isn't just the country to identity. Rather, diversity embraces and nurtures identity, which create an environment where Laney folks are able to dream, flourish, and succeed. Thank you so much for listening to my stories.
I hope you all can see why I was so moved. Thank you, Khan, for coming. And that concludes my Chancellor's report for this evening.
Thank you. Item 4.1,